Welcome to prime time, bitch! Ha 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 ha!
Hey everybody, we're back with another Fiend Cave podcast. We're doing part 3 of the Fiend Film Club. As always, I'm Richie, joined by Mr.
This is Sean. Hey, how you going?
And joined by our special guest this evening for the double feature that we did is Mr.
Hey, I'm Austin. It's nice to meet you guys.
Right on. Yeah, basically, yet again, we're doing this because, damn it, is it fun. And it gives us an excuse to just watch B-movies.
Watch great
Stuff I've never
movies.
seen, man.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Right. Never seen and just having a hell of a good time so far doing it.
Yeah, tonight we went with zombie flicks because why not? And we did it right in that we did zombie flicks before the 2000s, which...
Zombie flicks from the early 90s, yeah.
Yes. No CG was involved in either of these.
All practical effects.
As far as I could tell.
On
All
one, you got...
Nice gooey syrup.
Yes.
Pretty much. On the one, you got the legend Tom Savini, directing and doing practical effects. And
I didn't really see who did the visuals on the second one.
Yeah, I
or
didn't
the
either.
effects.
yeah.
But it was gooey and gross.
It was,
and
yeah,
great.
very zombie-ish. Excuse me,
And-
zombo.
And with also being a bit titillating as well.
Oh, yes.
Just a little bit with some Mindy Clarke to
God.
spoil it.
She was the only
Too
reason
much now.
I would watch Spawn a second time. But
Still a
yeah.
hottie. Yeah.
Before we start, I was just going to give a shout out. One of my friends on Facebook, Stacie Ponder, has a really awesome book called Death Count. It's all the deaths in the Friday the 13th film series, illustrated, which are kind of stick figure-y. I highly recommend it. It's really awesome. You can get it on Amazon. I think it's like $20.
Yeah, when I go to edit and throw this video up, I'll include like a photo of the book, and then I'll include, of course, links, links to
totally.
Amazon or something, maybe.
But yeah, it's really.
Hopefully, she'd be cool with that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think she would. She has a webpage called FinalGirl.com
Yeah.
where it's a horror blog I've been following forever.
Oh yeah.
She's badass. We also want to do a shout out to Aaron Martin, who was on our last.
On our previous episode, awesome. It was
You
a
can
good
still download and get a DVD copy of his movie Atomic Zombie Space Freak. Atomic
We're
Zombie
just having
Space
trouble
Creeps.
pronouncing and getting tripped all over.
It's
our
like
tongues,
11:30.
Well, you
I've been
know.
up for a bit.
Right.
But yeah, it's his nod to Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's really good stuff. I'm hoping we'll do a podcast where we actually review it.
That would be awesome. Like I said,
Yeah.
have everybody over
Sure.
and do like popcorn or
Yeah.
whatever kind of snacks and everything.
Aaron
That'd be pretty
literally
sick.
lives like 2 buildings over, so I'm sure I can get him over. I can get his roommate to come over, who's actually the lead actress in it.
That would be awesome.
We'll
that'd be
watch
really
it and
cool.
then review it, as many people as we can.
Yeah, and again, for the last episode, I put links in the the bottom or whatever, and
Yeah.
go buy it, check out the trailer and everything, as well as the full movie of Nightmare City. You can also
Meatball Heads
do
Assault.
Meatball Heads Dumpster Fire.
Meatball Heads
Set it up
Dumpster
again.
Fire. That's a
pretty
better
much
title.
it. Yeah.
I like that.
If they ever remake it, Savini, there you go.
But needless to say, tonight, well, before we get into it, I'm going to just read off. The first one we saw was
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead from 1990, directed by Tom Savini, a remake. And then we followed it up with Return of the Living Dead 3.
Yeah.
What was the date on that? I missed it.
It's
93.
93.
Yeah.
Exactly, 93.
So we
when
did
that came out.
1990 and 1993.
Yep.
We're going to start off with Savini's first. We'll just do an order, but both really fun movies. Before we get started, really fun, enjoyable, and unlike Nightmare City, I didn't kind of hate myself for watching it afterwards.
Well, for me, watching that one, and I'm not talking about Nightmare City, I'm talking about Night of the Living Dead. For me, I could watch it over more times as I could
Sure.
Nightmare City, you know. So,
Yeah. I would watch Nightmare City again. It's just that you watch it and you're like, yeah, this isn't that great. It's kind of
right. Yeah.
Whereas these two movies, yeah, they're kind of B, but they're still pretty good.
You still have a watch over factor. So.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely like to see them again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd seen both of them before. I think, Richard, you hadn't seen Night.
I haven't
Austin,
seen
you
Night.
hadn't seen Night
I haven't
either.
seen it, yeah.
You didn't see either before.
I haven't seen either before.
I know Richard's seen Return 3 before.
Yes, many times. I remember watching. I think my dad, like when I was a kid, brought home Mark for Death or whatever on VHS, and it's a movie with Steven Seagal.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the previews was Return of the Living Dead 3, and I'd not seen any of the other ones. So even then, I was like, I gotta watch this movie at some point. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll get a little more into that one when we get to it.
Yeah, when we get over that part.
I'm gonna set a timer for Night.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with Night of the Living Dead 90. So, basically, I guess the best way to do it is like we've done before. Is I'm just gonna start with a brief synopsis.
Yeah.
Which is not gonna be that long because straight up, if you've not seen Night of the Living Dead by this point and you're listening to this podcast,
Just turn it off. Go watch the movie.
Just go watch
back
the
and watch
movie.
the original one,
Watch the
and
original.
then come back.
Yeah.
and then come back. Basically, the only thing I have to say is that Savini and Romero doing the screenplay basically just took the original movie and went, okay, what can we fix that kind of sucked in the original?
Exactly. They topped it off, and it made it
So,
yeah. I'd say better. Yeah.
I think so. And I mean, the whole thing about the original was it was 60s propaganda, kind of the reason why it ends on such a downer is because it's talking about, racial relations at the time,
Right. He tries to do that, right, with every movie. Well, he did with every movie. So he tried to do a certain theme or whatever, or what he's going for.
Yeah.
The
first one was kind of like race and, the changing times in culture. The second one is about consumerism in the 70s. The 80s was just like the military complex in the 80s.
Right.
And so on and so on. Basically the same concepts are there in this, but he changes it just in the fact that we have Barbara is not a complete piece of trash in the movie.
She's an actual character now.
Yeah,
Right.
She has a personality, and thankfully she actually, isn't a pushover through the entire movie. She's not a victim.
And
Yeah, she starts out as a victim, like the original, but eventually gets to a point where she's picking up, a fireplace poker and taking out a zombie, and by the end of it, she's going around with a 6-shooter, just
she's
icing
nailing
him.
him with the gun, and pretty awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, little things they changed. So she survives actually, unlike the original with a complete downer ending, and actually kills Cooper. Who
Yeah, that was a nice little.
that was a nice.
We
little
were
nod.
all waiting for
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
I was like, well, he didn't die. Oh wait, there he is, and now he's dead.
Love it.
Well, you told me to kind of wait for it.
Like, is he going to be a zombie
Yeah.
or no? This is even
I think your exact words
nice.
were, "Oh no, Cooper's a zombie." Wait, no, I'm not. And I was just like, wait for it.
I keep going to that episode, that Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah.
The Simpsons. You just killed the zombie Flanders. He was a zombie.
zombie.
Yeah, go to that one.
But yeah, I mean, he doesn't change too much. It's in color.
As a huge Savini fan, like from Dusk Till Dawn and everything, he was really subdued. Like,
Yeah.
not a whole lot of gore. Just
Yeah.
And I was reading about that. They actually got a lot cut because in the 80s, around, just like with all the Friday movies, like the MPAA was just like, oh no, we can't have gore anymore.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm watching it, I remember as a kid, I thought it was a lot gorier, but watching, having seen a lot of the movies I have seen, it seems like they always cut away at the headshots. So
Yeah.
it's implied they die, but it's like
Right.
you don't really
Right.
see it as much, which I think kind of took away in my viewing. I was like, it's still a good movie, but
Yeah, when we're younger, we think that things are more brutal maybe than
Sure.
what they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
We see them a little later, and
no, considering the original Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite films, and they don't cut away for anything.
No.
This is kind of, it's, well, and it was released theatrically. Like, this was put in theaters in
Really?
the
I
90s, so,
Huh.
wow.
yeah.
See, I didn't know that. didn't
Yeah, I
know
thought it
that.
was a straight DVD.
Yeah,
It was
straight to
video.
film.
No,
Yeah.
it was a big budget, actually. Like, they got a decent budget, so I can see why they cut as much as they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, though, I do like that he'd actually... I saw in an interview that he based all of his zombies on cadavers or recently dead people that... so they don't really look so, like, dead like you would see in, like, say, Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
They're more fresh. They look kind of like... They got the, like, pukish yellow to their skin, so it almost looks like cadavers.
Right, right.
But I dug that. The eyes were really cool. I like that the eyes were kind of like glazed over, like cataracts.
I always like that when they choose to do that with zombies and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but yeah.
Right.
Gives that feel.
Cooper's daughter was way creepier in this movie. Looked straight up like Reagan from The Exorcist. Like, half expected her to crawl up the crab walk when she was coming up.
She did. I think you called that, and it was like, no, you're totally right. I'm waiting for it.
I'm with you on that. Even more so, like they do the up close shot as like Barbara's like as she's walking towards Barbara, and I noticed her mouth open. She had braces. I was like, what a way to go would be to get like bitten by a zombie with braces.
Ooh, talk about getting ate up, man.
Yeah, that's like double bad.
Yeah, no doubt. That's overkill for real.
It's stuck in there.
Oh, you're just like yanking the bitch with you, like dragging her.
And she's not smart enough to like take it out either. It's just gonna be there forever.
Dragging her up the stairs.
Yeah, like, the more I think about it, like, I thought this was going to take a while to, like, talk about it, but because it's so much like the original, it's hard to really keep going. Many people have said plenty of things about Night of the Living Dead. I don't know if much more I could say.
Something I did notice is that I love movies that have, like, that perfect ending shot, and I almost thought that this movie had it, like, when he's laughing in the basement, and the light goes out, I was like, and cut. And then it kept going. I was like, okay, it's cool that she survived, but that would have been so much more chilling.
That would have
been
if
you wouldn't have known that she survived.
And I thought, exactly, I thought it was going to end on that, too, and I was like, wow, that's a pretty good ending.
Which,
honestly,
that would have
been awesome.
It could have ended like that, and, it could have been ambiguous. Like, she did get away, so she could have made it. The fact that it kept going, it's almost like that could have been the director's cut right there.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I love the visual of the light just slowly dim.
Yeah, he finds the key.
He's just laughing,
losing it.
Yeah, and that's how it ends.
And I have to say, I like Tony Todd in this part. He played it very well.
Yeah.
I like him as an actor, period. So
sure.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I really had nothing bad to say about him. Every actor in it was good. I mean, even the guy playing Cooper, like, he was such a scumbag. Like, he plays that really well.
Yeah, he plays that in different movies. He also was in, as you pointed out, and I should have seen it, but I didn't. But
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. He was.
Well, that
I can't remember the actor's name, but yeah, he was in that. He's done various stuff. I remember he was in the very first episode of Firefly.
Oh wow!
Was he the guy that
I think he's the
one nails, like in the
I think he's the one that he kicks into the. Or either he shoots. I think he shoots him, and then one of his thugs is like, "We're gonna blah blah blah," and he kicks him into the air.
Yeah.
Or like in the vent. But yeah, he's good at playing a scumbag, and it shows very well in this.
And then we had Bill Moseley, of course, in the beginning, and which is awesome. He's always awesome.
I didn't realize how much he chews scenery in that part. Like, he's really chewing it in that. It was cool.
No, it's a fun part to like choose scenery too.
Sure. Some interesting tidbits. I mentioned as we were watching it, at one point towards the end, you see that the mayor, who's got like an eye patch, is talking to the local news, and it's actually the same local newsman that was in the original playing the exact same part.
That is pretty cool.
But even more so interesting is the guy with the eye patch that does the "they're dead, they're all messed up" is actually the guy that played Johnny in the original.
Wow,
I didn't.
I was like,
cool.
that's
pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even put two and two together.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Well, it's cool when they bring the older actors back.
Sure.
Where they introduce some cool actors.
I think that was the only like big trivia I saw that was like, that's important to know.
Now, did you look? Because we were talking about this during the film. Was this filmed in Pittsburgh?
I believe it was.
At least at the same cemetery, because we were.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was. I really thought that was the same cemetery.
We don't find that
it looks
out.
very similar.
The listeners should go check that out.
Yeah, I didn't see any notes on it though, like in the trivia.
Get on the horn. Let us know.
Exactly. Write in the comments or something. Let us know.
But I did find it funny that Tony Todd. We were just talking how good of an actor he was as Ben. Lawrence Fishburne, Eric LaSalle, and Ving Rhames were all tried to get the role.
Man, if Fishburne was in this, I could marathon it with Nightmare 3.
That's true.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Fishburne's been in some good horror films as well. So
yeah,
that would have just added to his credentials. So
yeah. Reporter. Savini originally wanted to start the film in black and white, then slowly add color, which that would have been
rad. That would have been cool. Yeah.
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 This is actually Savini's directorial debut.
Okay.
What
did he do anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
Good question. I will look that up.
Because not to my knowledge, he has.
I don't think that he's directed anything else. Yeah, that's
special effects and then acting.
I could see him this is probably a labor of love for him.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I was actually reading that Patricia Tallman, who played Barbara, was actually a friend of his that lived in Pittsburgh, and he just always liked that she was a really stand-up, tough person in real life, and he's like, this is the perfect.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Perfect role for her.
Yeah, she's very, as you were saying, she's very Ripley-esque.
Yeah.
She's, heroine and not too bad on the eyes either.
No.
I think she's pretty attractive, and she's a redhead.
She looks a little better when she's got a little more hair.
I think
but
it's
the only thing
short.
The only thing she's really known for is she was in Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She also played some of the Deadites in Army of Darkness. I looked up to.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember which ones, but she was, because she's a stunt actress too, so.
Wow.
Hi, you got real ugly.
Yeah. Okay, Savini did 3 episodes of Tales from the Dark Side,
nice.
So technically he did those before, this was his first movie.
Okay.
Yeah. He did something called The Chill Factor, it was a video short.
Okay.
I'm not familiar.
He did a segment in Dead Time Stories Volume 1, which was basically it was George Romero's Creep Show, even though he directed Creep Show.
See, now that we know these things, have to go down the rabbit hole and check them out.
Well, that's I'm looking through all of it, and it looks like all of his were shorts, other than Night 90.
So this was his actual only full-length film.
Well, except for evidently he's supposed to direct Nightmare City.
Oh yeah, that's
so the remake of Nightmare City.
Yeah. I still want to see that. If he's going to direct, I'll
maybe it'll get better.
Yeah.
Well, what I find funny is they actually have a cast list for Nightmare City.
Wow.
And it starts with the kid that played Atreyu in Neverending Story.
What?
Ray Wise.
Wow. Ray Wise? Really?
Tom Savini, of course, would make an appearance in it.
Well, yeah, he's got to.
Some chick with a huge rack named Diana Prince.
Go the rabbit hole we shall go.
And Judith O'Dea from the original Night.
Nice.
Played the original Barbara.
Nice.
Everybody else, I have no clue.
Wow, huh. I'm, you know what? There's a cast now, so I'm going to see this. I do.
There's actually quite a long list of casts, so I think this is actually happening. But I guess it couldn't be worse than the original. We'll see.
If nothing else, if the budget runs low, let's
when
do
the bar's on
fire.
The floor, all you gotta do is step over it.
There's no way to go but up.
Well, as we said, Nightmare City is now officially the bar for the worst movie we've seen.
Is there one that's going to be lower? We shall see as we keep going with these.
Obviously, Night 90 did not make the low.
No,
it still was better.
I don't put it down there.
No, it was good all around. I remember it was actually, I saw the original Night of the Living Dead, and then this was one of the first movies I saw, R-rated, I watched on my own without my parents. And
oh, shit, yeah.
I remember it did creep me out a little, because all Romero zombie movies creep me out initially, but it still stands up. I think it works fine.
Yeah, we were all talking about the best horror remakes, and I could easily see this being up there now.
Yeah, it's good.
It's up there for
it's
sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Again, other than the cut and the gore, it's decent. Still got some scare moments in there.
As we probably talked about last episode with Scream Factory, how they put out Blu-rays now, B-rated horror film stuff. Do you see them or even somebody else maybe releasing a director's cut where someday
there might actually be one out there. I don't know.
Savini might want to bug him if one of the conventions or something actually.
Thomas. Where's that director's cut, Thomas?
Hey man, when's that director's cut coming? Also, when's the new Nightmare City coming? Yeah. Come on, bro.
And please tell me they ain't all meatball heads again. Come on.
They're finished meatballs now.
Finished.
Not dumpster fire, no.
Oh.
But yeah. So
they're noodles now.
They all look like ramen heads.
Deep fried.
It was a real interesting artistic cut.
Director's cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, decent.
I liked the film. It was a good remake.
There were some moments like that just show the pile of zombies like stumbling across like the farm.
Right.
Even though they're zombies, I'm just like they're kind of all wearing like overalls and just kind of look like rednecks at a hoedown.
They might just be drunk. Who knows?
They might just be really drunk guys.
They were all at hoedown, and they all got bitten or whatever. So could have happened.
Right on.
Maybe they got guns. We got boot, scoot, and boogie.
Then just shoot them anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was mine. I took over the synopsis because again I kind of wasn't familiar with it. So that's we did about.
What are we on? That's not half an hour. I'm
Oh
sure.
God, no. We did like more like 15 minutes.
Wow.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll let you do the synopsis on this one since you're more.
Do you want to?
Unless you have anything else to say, I'm good.
Are we done talking about Night or?
I mean, I don't want to stop anybody. I just I can't think of much.
Everything's
more.
been said.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
You can't really go.
Do we want to try and rate it like we did last episode, or we just want to?
Well, what
4 stars. Check it out.
What was our rating system for Nightmare City?
Well, Aaron gave it a 1.5, right? Because
it was out of 4 stars. I think.
Out of 5.
Okay, out of 5
because
stars.
he gave it the 1.5. If I remember correctly, because
it's
his 45th attempt. It was the guy's 45th attempt on making a movie.
I loved his reasoning. It's like this is his 45th attempt for a movie. And this was the same year that Evil Dead came out.
Right, exactly. This is what we have to compare it to.
It's pretty solid reasoning.
With Evil Dead, you had a few people to make it. With with Nightmare City, you had a bunch. So.
That being said, I would give this a 3.5 in that directorial debut.
Yeah.
It doesn't shy away from what the original did well.
Mm-hmm.
It still looks good. It actually has some good shots in it.
Yeah.
Acting is pretty solid. The only reason it doesn't get a higher rating with me is just that it didn't do anything too drastically different.
Did change a whole lot.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing. But, you know, it just depends on your mood. If you really want to see the original, go watch the original. If you want to, like me, have seen the original numerous times and don't really want a downer ending, watch this one. Yeah. It's a little happier.
A little happier ending.
Just a little bit though, because like
she's still kind of like, oh God,
a World 4 rednecks is a bit.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm alive, but now I'm surrounded by people that are dicks.
Having way too much fun killing these and burning them, and it's like they don't even know what caused it. It's like, oh, let's burn the bodies. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's kind of like, did they even realize they were dead, or were they just like, oh, screw it, let's kill people?
Oh, yeah, sure, they were dead when they were really alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll give it a 3. Great actors in it, obviously. Yeah, it didn't change up too much. It was kind of like how we referred it to Psycho. It was kind of changed a few things, but not much. Still a great movie. I'd watch it over and over again, really.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch it a few more times,
definitely.
even though I have. But.
Yeah, definitely I'd watch again.
Yep.
Would you rate it, and what would you rate it, sir?
Definite 3.5. It changed just enough to like justify its existence, and the acting was like spot on for everybody.
True.
And again, I'll agree with you guys. Like they didn't change like a whole lot, but what they did change, like it helped.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
upon it.
I was just reading, Romero, the reason why he wrote the script the way it is, he originally didn't want it to be a total downer ending, and he thought, originally he was like, I was going to have Barbara survive, but it just worked out better to have her, like, just dragged away.
Right.
This, I like that there's no doubt that she made it out alive, like, she kind of...
Sure.
The whole movie, she's like, let's just walk out of here.
Right. She was the stronger, independent, female in this, and she, her character was in the original.
It's like the Geico commercial. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Oh yeah, I just saw that actually.
That is a really good commercial. I forgot about that.
That's entertaining. Yeah.
Let's go hide in the room full of chainsaws.
The guy's just standing there like
shaking his head.
What? We'll do something.
Man, some days is killing kids even worth it.
That reminds me. I think you've seen it. Have you ever seen the movie? The Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon?
No.
I have not.
Oh my god, I used to have it. The
Yeah.
whole thing is that it's semi found footage. But the whole concept is that it's a film crew is following a guy that is going to start a murder spree like on the likes of Michael Myers or Jason. And in fact, they name drop them like they actually exist in this world.
Right.
And this guy basically has all these things. Robert Englund actually gets to play the Dr. Loomis of this movie.
Oh. I think I saw this on the video shows when video stores still around.
It's really, really good. I used to have a copy of it. We'll have to do a movie or a review.
We'll add that to the list. Hell yeah!
But yeah, it just for some reason you guys talking, it just reminded me of that movie and that they're like, what's the first rule of being a mass murderer? Cardio.
Excellent,
dude. And it was before Zombieland. He's like, you gotta get so much cardio in. She'll be chasing a big titted girl down the street, and you just like have to bend over and breathe. You're never gonna catch her. But
and that's when you cue to the scene of Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
In American Psycho with the chainsaw and the jogging shoes.
Yeah.
He's got that shit down cold.
Completely naked. He's like
completely naked. But the jogging
with a
shoes.
big smile on his face.
Oh god, but yeah, great film.
Okay,
definitely. Cast is awesome. Everything.
All right, we'll move on to numero dos.
Okay, so we're gonna do next Return of the Living Dead 3, and this one we just kind of went with it. We just decided it was kind of up in the air, and we decided, haven't watched this in a while and stuff, and 1 out of 3 hasn't.
I don't think I've ever seen the director's cut, which just was
very
obviously the director's cut.
Has some great assets.
Great shots.
That's one thing I'll say. I knew immediately that I was watching the director's cut because there's just like a sex scene. It's like, I don't remember this. I remember the sex scene, but I don't remember. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not even the gore that you notice right away. It's the.
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of gore in this.
Oh yeah, the gore you notice, but
kids, this is what a rated R movie used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a movie you would catch late night on Cinemax and be like, oh god, I hope my mom doesn't come down.
No, seriously, like this whole movie felt like the crazy shit that you find in like a video store, even though I was way too young to be renting these movies.
Right.
Yeah. It kind of did. Like even more so than like Return of the Living Dead. The original had that feel, like the graveyard striptease and everything.
Yeah.
But it's still. It still felt like that kind of movie.
It's still an absolutely bonkers flick.
Sure. Absolutely bonkers, yeah, but on a more serious note. Came out on TriStar when TriStar used to be, around, first of all.
Yeah.
Sure.
And 2, it's like when they made good movies, when they made good horror and good, just crazy
they're just
shit.
like, well, send it out there. Somebody's going to dig it.
Right.
It's true, too.
So,
like, I remember seeing the box for this in, like, the horror section and being like, I don't think I could get away with renting this with my parents, but
Mom,
I really want to watch this.
I really want to see this, but you don't have to watch it with me.
This movie was
go to
like,
bed.
Thank Christ for bootlegging.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this was 93 when this came out. The third in the series. It's a Romeo and Juliet story.
Totally. I actually, like, before people it's just like Romeo and Juliet, and I was like, that's going a little far, but watching it this time, I was like, I totally see it. Like, this time it makes perfect sense to me.
It does. So it has that aspect of it. Still a horror film. Gore is good.
Yes.
Effects are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more, it's a lot grislier, like, than your average, like, Savini gore, or, like, even in a Romero, zombie flick. It's like, gooier.
It's like a lot of, it reminded me a bit of, like, early Raimi mixed with a lot of Reanimator.
Yeah, I was going to say Reanimator.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because the guy who, I don't know if I'll have to look it up, but he might have directed it, but definitely produced this. Also produced Beyond Reanimator and Bride.
Okay.
So that's where it's coming from.
The director is Brian Usna, who also did Bride or Reanimator.
Yes, there you go.
All
so
right, that explains it.
Yeah.
Because I did catch that, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he did Bride.
He might have also produced From Beyond, another Lovecraft film.
That was a good flick, too.
Yeah, another weird one, but
very
really awesome. But yeah.
That was another movie that had some really bizarre gore, but also had some major titillation going. So, I mean, I'm going to keep bringing it up, but my God.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mindy/Melinda Clarke. Jesus Christ.
She is, and to this day, she is still.
She still looks
she's
good.
Still
I've
hot.
seen her recently.
Yeah, she's still hot. I think she used to be on that show.
She was on CSI for quite a while.
She was on
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what's the OC?
The
I think
OC.
she actually played on that, which I found that out by accident. I'm like, what? Well, now I gotta kind of sort of
I gotta watch
it, but not tell anybody I watched it.
For my own personal reasons.
Wow.
Needless to say, in my house, this would be a watch with your pants off movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you'd be kind of grossed out in certain scenes with your pants off, and that's
Like,
never
oh,
fun.
I have to put it away for this scene.
It's like the return of the Y boner with a vengeance.
Like, I was like, oh man, she's all hot and pierced up. Oh, this is good. And oh god, she just ripped this guy's spine out, but he's not really ripped it out completely, and now he's like a weird
Giraffe man.
Giraffe zombie.
And he keeps like screaming weird Hispanic slang as he's stumbling around.
South Central.
Yes,
All right,
It's
so
like,
yeah.
kid, you're from Wisconsin. Stop it.
Yeah, synopsis is young boy, well, not young, but younger boy and girl are in love. Dad works for military doing some weird experiments on the zombies.
with trioxin, of course.
Trioxin,
Oh, yeah.
which is the only connection with the first two films.
Right.
You don't need to see the first two, I suppose,
No.
going into this.
It doesn't really. It's not
It
necessary.
would,
Yeah, you
it
can
would
just-
help, I suppose, but just knowing what the trioxin does, kind of. But
I think it wouldn't necessarily help you too much, just because, like me, I was watching it. It's like, wouldn't it have been cool if one of these trioxin canisters had like tar man in it? Like, that would have
Just
been
a little, little bit of fan service.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
asking for trash,
Right.
but tar man would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
throwing him back in there. Now instead we got like Two-Face kind of skull.
Oh, I
don't
mean, he
even know
was
what to
cool.
call
I
him.
love that, like, his head was fused to his shoulder, and then, like, at one point he, like, rips up.
Rips it off.
I will become a butterfly.
Yeah, we'll call him the butterfly zombie.
Butterfly zombie.
Get out of this cocoon.
So yeah, so anyway, they sneak in and see Dad doing all kinds of weird experiments on these zombies and stuff.
Which, by the way, security in this place.
Security is so bad.
For a
it's-
military installation, that's pretty. Somebody's getting fired.
Yeah,
a
rides
box.
in. Yeah, rides in on a bike with his girlfriend. Okay, go right in.
Even when she's dead.
Yeah, she's dead the second time they were.
Well,
All right,
the first
girl.
time he goes, and the guy just like walks out. He's like, "My dad works here." He's like, walks off. The second time, she's like flopped on the back of his bike. And he's like,
She's asleep.
he like doesn't even say anything. The guy's just like, eh.
Go on, man. I really hate my job.
I
And again, he wasn't E-Cat.
I protect zombies, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Well, where are they gonna go? It's funny you should ask that. No. But yeah, so sneak in. They kind of see him doing experiments. They kind of get freaked out, roll out, and decide to. Well, they get into an accident, so they decide to roll back and try to use this gas.
You're going past the fact that they go back to his place to bone.
They go back to
Yes.
his
Which
place
is
to bone.
important because, yeah, that was great.
Something truly missing from today's horror movies. Completely missing.
So let's go back to my place.
The fact that his dad's like, oh, well, the experiment's not going well, so we're going to move to Oklahoma City in a week.
In a week. We just got here 6 months ago.
Which, I do have to say, 6 months ago and you're already, like, madly in love with a girl, that might be a little too fast.
Have you
Well,
seen the knockers on this
I was
chick?
going to say, it is Mindy Clarke.
I would say cut the brakes, but then again, you look at those again and you realize it's Melinda Clarke and you're
Hit
like,
that
okay,
rewind
you're
button.
fine.
You show your dad this. It's like, but Dad. It's like,
Just stand here.
Like,
Just show him.
again, in a perfect movie, you would have been like, Dad, 2 seconds. Just opens the bedroom. There she is, like,
Shirtless.
really, I have to go to Oklahoma City.
Okay, you can stay, I'll leave.
carry on.
Yeah.
It's like,
Actually, we'll both stay.
it'd be even better if he's like, all right, I'll go. You send me pics.
Daily.
Love you, Pop. Disaster for no zombies get out. Everybody's
Right,
happy.
right, exactly. Keep a lid on that. So yeah, so they go back, find out how they have to move. So then they take off. They're gonna run away from home. That's when they get into an accident where she dies.
Right.
So he decides...
Her fault, by the way.
It is totally her fault.
Yeah. She
Playing
decides
around
to
with
get
him.
handsy with him as he's trying to maneuver the bike.
Right. It's
not
a
even
little
like
bike, too.
not even on a car, just like on a friggin' crotch rocket.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, if we're in a muscle car, sure, go to town, but come on. I don't want to die right now.
Right. Little bike.
So
yeah, so he's in love with her, so rather let her go. You know, it's an accident. He decides to take her back to the warehouse and use the trioxin on her.
Right.
Which is such a fantastic idea.
Well, it does work. She
She
comes
back, yeah.
She doesn't immediately want to chew his face off. Which
Well,
is,
and they make them the comment a few times that her brain is intact, so somehow
She
she's
is
still able to.
Sort of her is still there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which I did find interesting because she did bash her head into a pole.
Yeah.
So I was
Right.
thinking brain damage immediately, but
Right. I
just
guess
neck
not.
damage, though.
yeah, she got taco
It's
neck.
It's the part of the brain that we don't use that they talk about. You know, we only use so much part of our brain. You know, that's what she just bounced that part off.
Yeah. So, needless to say, they go on the crazy escapades across South Central.
But yeah, bring her back. So then they sneak out of there, and she of course is hungry for something she doesn't know what.
Which, by the way, the first place they go, what's the first thing she goes for? Snowballs. Don't ever go for snowballs.
The pink ones at that.
The pink was at that.
The
Nobody
pink ones
likes
at that.
snowballs.
It's not the taste, it's the
gonna-
texture.
Exactly. It's not going to fill you up. I'm just saying.
I mean, come on. Like, I would have thought that, like, the first place she'd go is for one of those roller dogs. Like, if I'm starving,
We're
that's where I
talking.
go.
Speedway. Come on, let's go.
Roller dogs, maybe some some nacho cheese.
Now we're talking.
This is
Some
93.
chili
I'm
sauce
sure
on
there's
that.
some racks still around.
Oh, dude, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit up a Rax.
Oh, that was good stuff.
She, like, deep fries somebody in the roast beef.
It's just straight Jason X, is it?
Yeah. Goosh.
Now it's good.
Yeah, she goes behind the counter. Let me show you how to do this.
Once you've
Chili
had fried
sauce.
brains, you'll never go back to raw.
So they stop at this convenience store, and obviously there are these, I don't know what you call them, gang members.
Well, like,
Latino gang members
I
from
think
South
like
Central.
2 or
People
3
from
are
the
his.
wrong side of the street.
All right, at least one of them was Hispanic.
Uh-huh.
As far as I can tell.
Uh-huh.
There's one Asian chick.
Chick was Asian, yeah.
And then the other, like, one guy looked like he might be Filipino. Like, I was like...
It was all over the place. Yeah.
Was their gang name the United Colors of Benetton? Like, I was really kind of, like, impressed by the multicultural... You know, of course they're all scumbags, but...
Right. Well,
United Nations of Skis.
I'm just was kind of, even though it was still a racial stereotype, I was happy to see that the owner of convenience store was not in fact an Indian guy,
No,
He
he
was
was
Asian.
Asian, yeah. Poor
which was
guy.
bad enough.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he just had a rough night.
He
Like,
did. He
He
did
gets
not.
shot in the stomach,
Right. Gets kicked.
gets
They
kicked
kicked
in
him.
said stomach.
Right.
Gets kidnapped, shot by the cops.
Yeah, cops are trying to help him. You know, he's like,
She eats his brain, and then he comes out and kills one of the cops.
it's the gift that keeps on giving, really.
Yeah,
It's like, you shot and killed me, and I'm gonna eat your brain. But, you know, in an Asian voice.
it's just, you know, did he wake up that day realize, like, something tells me today's gonna be a really, really
Why do
bad
I
day.
go into work today?
Just steps in cat shit, just like, well, this is the end of my life.
He should have known.
Either
just to
that
stay
or he
home.
stepped in the cat shit and went, my day can't get worse.
It's only uphill from here.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
He probably still went into work because he probably owns the place. That's why. He's like, I got nobody to fill in for me, so.
Well, and the fact that he had like a pedo van as his like work van kind of creeped me out.
We'll go to the medicine cabinet in the shaggin' wagon.
We got this.
It's only 2 blocks away.
Oh,
Then
God.
walk, bro.
So like you have this whole concept that like she's slowly becoming a zombie. He's
Right.
trying to keep her, you know, humanity in any way
Which
he
is
can.
really cool. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see that too often.
Yeah.
I dug the fact that it was, you know, it's very easily, it could be viewed as like drug addiction.
Yes.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
lots of analogies there, but it was done really well. I like the two, the leads are pretty decent
Mhm.
actors. But I like just blatantly, the United Colors of Benetton are pissed because she takes a bite out of one of them before they leave. And
She takes a bite out of crime.
yeah, she did take a bite out of crime.
I say I have to have a drum for this.
So they go chasing after them, and they end up.
She jumps off a bridge.
Yes.
Tries to commit suicide, and then we find the savior of the movie, Riverman.
Riverman. Coincidentally, when I watched this with a buddy of mine like years ago, I'd forget his name and I'd call him River King.
River King.
I'm like, no, River King. He's like, dude, it's Riverman. I'm like, shit.
Rat King, Riverman.
There were
River
points.
It's kind of similar. Yeah.
And I'm not meaning this in a mean way at all, but there were points like in his performance, it was so over the top and like so much. Like he gets into this whole he's like talking about, like, you don't owe me nothing. Just give this coin to someone when they're in trouble. And it's just like, dude, is he trying to go for an Oscar for Return of the Living Dead 3? Because that ain't happening, buddy.
Not in this movie.
Not in this movie.
They called it Shining. It's like, boy, Scatman Crothers, you are not.
Yeah, by the way, old wise black person, you're probably gonna die.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Horrifically.
Yeah, he was gonna
in the
get it,
third
yeah.
act. Maybe
Pretty
even
much.
twice. And in his case, it was twice.
You know, if you think about it, this is also a movie that could have ended at another point.
Yeah.
Just like in night.
Absolutely.
Because there's the point where she basically, has gone almost full zombie, almost kills him. His dad shows up. They shoot her with the trank. And, like, he goes into
Freezes
fetal
her
position,
brain,
and
yeah.
it goes to black. It's like, well, they could have ended right there.
Yeah, they could have very well.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah,
there's more.
We need more bat shit.
Pretty much.
But that's skipping forward a little
Yeah.
bit. But
Yeah.
But so after she jumps, they find her. Of course, she's still alive. How's she gonna die?
Duh.
So,
I don't think any zombie has ever died from jumping into a river. Unless the
They've
river was
tried.
like acid.
but so then of course the whole gang shows up.
She gets caught by Tweedle Essay.
Well, and the thing that I really dig about this that was really kind of the defining moment of the movie is that she learns that by hurting herself, like inflicting
Controls the
pain,
hunger.
she can control the hunger.
Right.
So she's throughout the movie like jamming nails
Like,
into
she goes
herself and
straight
stuff.
Roy Batty, and then by the end of it, it's full Pinhead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. She got
It is
glass. She's
unreal.
got nails.
Yeah.
She even has like some cool necklaces around in her like neck and stuff.
There were two things I was thinking. Was one, I was like, I want to see how long it took for her to sit there and make up and do that.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually when those scenes were going on.
I really hope my boyfriend's not dead.
And two is not necessarily out of movie, but like to fast forward a little when she gets captured and then they put her in the military base. Whose job was it to take all that shit out?
Ooh, yeah.
I like to think they had a magnet.
Just, yeah.
And all like because she still has like the cuts you see at the end.
Yeah, she's got the
and stuff,
cuts, but I mean, like, she doesn't have any of the.
No, they took it all out.
Yeah, she
And
doesn't
it's
have the
like,
piercings, but.
and it's all over. Boobs were all done and everything. So it's like, yeah.
I mean, it was intense, but it still looked cool, and
It looked very cool. Yeah.
it still strangely turned you on.
Sadly and strangely, yes.
And of course, what's really funny is whenever that guy's name, the Hispanic guy, is also the viewer, or at least the male viewer, and then he's totally like, I'm okay with this. Goes in the room.
I am not okay with the.
Before he loses his head. Becomes giraffe zombie, as you call
Well, if
it.
you think about it, the main character did get zombie strange because they totally hooked up.
Oh yeah, they hooked up and the little dare I say bat cave down there.
The river cave.
The river cave.
So.
Oh god, but yeah.
Why do they call you Rivermans? Because they live by the river? No, I just always win at the river at poker.
He's got his coin.
Again, like a scene I would have put in is like, why do they call you Riverman? He just turns from the screen, you just hear like whoosh as he's pissing. You see like a scream. Good God, man, you should
I'm
get
like
that
a
looked
camel.
up.
Yeah. Like a camel. Hold this here.
I got a UTI. Leave me alone.
Oh god. And I want to mention this before I kind of forget it, but the guy that plays Riverman also plays in that movie I mentioned, Mark for Death.
Okay.
With Steven Seagal. He plays the bad guy in that, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he plays like a drug lord.
Well, like,
He's like twins. He's like, seriously, it's like twin bad guys or whatever, and it's crazy. But they're like Jamaican, so he has all these weird powers.
Why you wear those shades at night?
Dude,
so, yeah.
Is he more badass than Voodoo Billy from Predator 2? Like, that guy was badass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's the spirit world, man.
I would say they're probably tied there.
Okay.
I'd say they're probably tied.
Somewhere in between Voodoo Man and Papa Midnight.
We have Riverman.
And then there was Riverman. But, so...
There are parts in this where I was just like, I don't know if he's trying for an Oscar or what. I mean, he's got some depth, but... Dude, this is
I don't
a
care
zombie
if
movie.
12 people watch this. I am going to be recognized and remembered. God damn it.
So poor Riverman, like, helps these sad sacks out, and what's he get for his trouble? Bashed in the head with a pipe, shot in the leg,
yeah,
and then for all of his troubles, eaten by his girlfriend.
She eats him, yeah, she eats him. You knew that was coming, though, eventually.
But as Nick Cave once said, death is not the end, because then he gets taken back to the military installation.
He gets
and
turned into some crazy military...
Elysium with Evil Dead.
give him a damn exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Like, I love that she's, like, the evil scientist. The guy's father has this whole thing where he's got this, like, gun that shoots, like, some kind of...
Like liquid nitrogen.
Liquid
nitrogen
nitrogen
gun,
cartridge
much, yeah.
that, like, you know, knocks out...
Supposed
like,
to freeze their brain.
freezes their brain for an amount of time, and they decide it's not good enough because it, you know, doesn't work as long as they expect. Yet her whole plan is to take these dead guys, take a zombie, give it a fucking exoskeleton, and somehow they're going to use it, like, for military warfare. And it's like, okay, so it's bad enough that they can bite you and infect you and they just eat brains and stuff, but now you're going to give it a unkillable exoskeleton because a shotgun blast is going to just get
blow their leg off and it doesn't matter. They can still keep walking.
That brings up an additional question. If they kill all your enemies, you're now in charge of those enemies because they made zombies.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Like, this is a terrible plan by the military.
Right. It's just not going to end well.
Like, you know, your best bet is just incinerate everything and just say, fuck it.
Right.
Burn it all. Burn it all.
Well, that's not even a good plan, because if you go back to the original...
Well, if you go back to the original, like, the gets in the air, except...
And then it comes back down.
Well,
with the rain.
In this one, though, they show that they're burning the material, and it's like, like, they're using, like, you know, something...
Like nuclear shit
to basically, like, so it doesn't go back in the air.
Yeah, there's, like, nothing left.
Because, like, the spoilers at the end when they incinerate themselves, I didn't get the impression they're going to, like, shoot into the air and start
We're
over.
back!
Yeah.
They're dancing.
It's their way of reproducing.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, it didn't end with a moment where you suddenly see a skull jump up, open its mouth, and hear, "Do you want a party?" It's party time! But, yeah,
So...
yeah, the effects are really good in this. There were parts, though, I do have to say that, like, some of the background zombies towards the end looked really, like, kind of... I don't know the best way to say it. They just kind of look like, okay, just throw some shit on them and just hope the camera doesn't view them too much.
Doesn't pick them up too much.
Because they kind of just look like extras from, like, Halloween horror.
Someone, like microwaved the leftovers from Dead Alive and just, like, fuck it, let's just put it on.
Just put it on. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But I mean, like, the key zombies still look cool.
Yeah.
Riverman with, like, the exoskeleton was pretty badass.
Yeah, he was pretty crazy looking with his
off.
his crazy eyes and stuff, and he gets his coin back. Yeah.
It's like, this is a bitchin' coin.
Well, it's like, okay, that's a little inconsistency. Like, the Return of the Living Dead, they could all speak still, as long as they had a mouth. In this third movie, it seemed like when they died, they suddenly lost the ability to speak, except for
a few of them.
The Hispanic dude that was just a spine could still speak somehow. Because he straight up was still going like, hey, say, like was random. And of course, Julie can talk, but again,
her brain was still very much intact,
so it makes sense. But
well, they were going for a more serious
it's like,
approach. But
why couldn't Riverman still talk? He took the thing out of his mouth.
Give me the card. And
You crazy whack has got me turned into Robo Riverman.
Not even the black zombie could live to the end of the movie.
Well, he was didn't necessarily sure that he was dead. It just his head was still alive. He was just watching as the one chick gets eaten. He's like,
right. The bad. I don't know if you call her a bad guy or not, but you like when she gets eaten, you're like, good,
dude,
you're such a bitch,
right.
Dude. She was an evil Kryptonian in Superman 2. She's always gonna be bad.
She was.
She kicked Superman in the junk. She bad.
Like, you can have Terrence Howard play Santa Claus. He's still evil.
Still Zod, man.
Yeah. I was a puppy. Nee!
Zod Claus.
Everybody still cheers when she gets eaten.
Yeah.
That's the moral.
Well, she's just a total bitch through the movie. It's like, I'm going to get my project. Okay.
No, it's my turn. I'm in charge now.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, it's my party.
Your son's still out in the city? I don't care. Kill with extreme prejudice. I don't care. I've got a stick on my ass.
She always plays, it seems like she plays a bad guy. I've only seen her in a couple things.
There was Superman 2, The Return of Swamp Thing, and this.
Oh yeah, I guess so. But that's a movie I haven't seen in a long time either. So
that's so bad it's good. Something about
I think the first Swamp Thing was so bad it's good.
If you think the first one's bad, it's good. You need to see the second one. Heather Locklear getting it on with a guy in a big old Swamp Thing suit is hilarious.
Oh, God.
It's a whole nother level of crazy. We're gonna have to watch that sometime.
No, that's added to the list then.
So bad it's good.
It's added to the list.
Return of Swamp Thing.
Return of Swamp Thing.
2000s Man Thing.
Oh, that's one I haven't seen. I saw it on the shelf. I'm like, someday.
Do you like having your toes broken?
Then you're gonna love Man Thing.
Yeah.
The only time that you talking about Man Thing is at all suitable is if you're mentioning the infamous giant-sized Man Thing, the comic from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That straight up sounds like the greatest sexual title of all time.
Giant-sized Man Thing.
Like, I saw that was a title, and I just was like, Stan, what were you smoking when you were okayed this?
Oh, boy.
That's crazy.
The kids will have to read it to see if he's a grower or a shower.
Stan was just like, I don't care, I'm too busy banging Koibe's wife.
How are those new guys now, jackass?
Alright, so, what more do we want to say about
wrapping
this?
it up, it ends with the two of them. He gets bitten, not by her, just
by
sheer
the random
accidents.
zombie when he breaks her out.
At first I thought, it's going to be a happy ending. They're going to go around and eat people.
Yeah, I was like,
forever.
Fuck it.
Well, that would have been I could see
That would have been an okay ending. Yeah. They do the moral thing.
But instead, he nutted up and was like, nah, this needs to end.
What the fuck have I done?
Well,
finally it occurs to him.
You generally get the consensus that she's not enjoying life like this.
No.
She's like, I think she says the line, I'm not alive, I'm not dead, and it's really lonely.
Right.
So, yeah, existence kind of is going to suck.
She's all for it.
Yeah, face down in the fire is probably the best way to go.
Yeah. And the dad actually played, we didn't mention this, he played in Predator 2.
That's right. I didn't recognize him.
He played Carrigan's boss.
Yeah, he played the Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge in Predator 2.
Yeah, because he's got like really, really like white hair in Predator 2. Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't recognize him in this.
Yeah. This again, I've only seen him in like 2 movies. This one and Predator 2. So, there was him. There was Mindy Clarke, which Mindy Clarke is just awesome.
She's done a few other things. I've heard she's been at like a lot of horror conventions and still signs stuff for Return of the Living Dead 3.
I would be so stoked. Yeah, I'd be so stoked if she was at a horror convention and I was able to go. So, 3, why haven't we not got a Return of the Living Dead 3 figure of her?
I'm
just
sure.
saying.
I think I saw that there was like a statue that was made at some point.
Cool.
But yeah, why would it ever got a figure? Like, that's a pretty iconic...
Because we got a Tarman. No, did NECA or
Actually, no,
McDonald?
I'll tell you exactly why we didn't get a figure of her. Because her freaking tits are pierced, and nobody's going to sell that.
Yeah.
Well, this is true, but if you think about it, McFarlane Toys made a Syl figure from Species.
She did have
They took the boobs, like they changed that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It would probably, I don't even think like a NECA would ever produce it. It'd have to be like more like a mock time or something, like a little more out there, like the guys that did like the Bub figure from Day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They did one of those like a few years back. It was really cool. But yeah,
it's like why don't we see,
Well, like whenever they say Return of the Living Dead and Zombie, you always get a Tarman. Which, don't get me wrong, Tarman is really cool.
Tarman's cool, and that figure is awesome. I'd love to have it.
But yeah, I can see that, like a Tarman, maybe a Tarman, a Julie, a Trash would be cool.
Yeah.
Again, there's some boobs.
Right. Right.
Yeah, what is it about Return of the Living Dead and zombie boobs?
Zombie boobs.
They just know what we wanted.
Exactly. What does she say in that one? She's like, I just want to be.
She's like, did you ever fantasize about dying? In my dream, it's a bunch of old men ripping me apart. It's just like,
well, you're not too far off.
That's exactly what happens. What's funny is she doesn't seem like she's really into it when it happens.
Yeah.
Like, but you wanted that. That would have made that scene better. Is if the dead guys were like, but you wanted this.
You wanted this.
This was your dream.
I just dreamt it.
I was just trying to be God. Shit.
No doubt. Oh God. So yeah. Do you want to rate this too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This one, I would give it like. I'm gonna give it a solid 3. A little less than Night 90. Night 90 just stands the test of time. As much as I do enjoy this, there are some parts that are just kind of like a little slow. It shows that it is definitely a low budget movie. Some of the background zombies are a little,
little iffy.
It's good. I mean, nostalgia glasses are probably like influencing my opinion, but at the same time, it's still, the story overall is pretty decent.
Right.
And straight up, Melinda Clarke makes the whole movie. So.
She does. Yeah. She makes that movie.
Yeah.
She does.
I mean,
I couldn't see anybody else like pulling that off.
Like, I don't want to see B. Arthur doing that role. I really don't.
Betty White.
Oh no! Only if it was like Betty White from like the 40s.
I was just gonna say a very younger Betty White.
Other than
She was smoking back in the day. She was.
I don't want to see Rosie O'Donnell. I don't want to see anything like that. That's gross.
You know what? I had the radio on the other day. Like, I was doing laundry. Had the radio on driving back into my apartment, and they were talking smack about her.
Rosie O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Really?
It's very easy to do.
I know, just talking about, like, she just needs to eat another hamburger and all this and that.
Maybe
it's like,
she should not eat that hamburger.
Well, that's what we were saying.
Why are we still burning on Rosie O'Donnell? She hasn't done jack in 10 years.
Yeah. That was my thought.
Like, don't you have other fish to fry?
But,
like the...
yeah, and Mindy Clarke, like I said, she was a trooper for doing the makeup and stuff, and
I hope she got paid a lot for the crap she probably had to endure in that. And on top of that, I had to get topless. Numerous times.
Topless, and then she had all the stuff sticking out and stuff too. So it's like, how many actresses would be like, okay, you're gonna be in a horror movie, but you're gonna do some nude scenes.
I'm kind of curious.
On top of
and no, I'm not talking about the breast piercings, but I'm just curious if any of those piercings were for real. Like, I mean, some of them, they could have been. Like, I mean, some of the ear piercings, at least, I was just wondering if they were real or not.
Probably could have been.
Like, it could have been. I don't know if it was, but...
Well, those it's really easy to fake, too. Just
you can get real... I've seen them. Hell, you could just take a regular one, just put it in there.
Right, exactly. So it's like, put a little bit of fake blood on that, and...
Sure.
So...
Wham bam, thank you, man.
Pretty much.
Yeah, again, I just wonder how long that took, and who was the guy that was doing the makeup effects, and why couldn't I do his job for him?
You're fired. Now I'm him.
It's like,
what madman? came up with this design. Where is he? We need to find him. We need to question. Is he like some?
Sir, where are you at?
Is he like some Hunter S. Thompson-esque, like more sane than anyone?
Well, it's like that, and then like I remember people are like, "What would be the greatest job in Hollywood?" It'd be like the guy that needs to apply makeup to Rebecca Romijn in the X-Men movies.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
true.
And it's like, yeah, she was pretty much naked. Yeah, it'd be
Yep.
all right.
Yep. How long does it take? 10 hours? Oh, damn! It's a dirty job, but
Man,
guess I gotta do it.
it's that union pay, man.
That's right.
Like right that same year, we got Rebecca Romijn, and then that same year we got Jim Carrey as the Grinch.
Oh.
The best job and the worst job.
Green hair everywhere.
God,
Oh.
good and bad.
But yeah, so anyway, my rating is a 3.
You got a 3. Okay. Do I go next?
No, whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4 just because the nostalgia. Like I said, I saw when I was a kid.
Sure.
A lot of the effects hold up. You know, Mindy Clarke, I've always had a thing for her.
I kind of want to look up what she looks like now. As
I'm
you're
sure
talking.
she probably still looks good.
I
I want to know what
doubt-
she's been in.
Yeah, I don't doubt that she still looks good. I'm just,
Well, yeah, I want to
I'm
know
a
what she's
perv,
been
but
in.
I'm
and
curious.
Yeah.
If she's going to be in the new Spawn.
I
Because she
doubt
should
it.
be. But yeah, solid 4 for me. Definitely. Had some good people involved and, yeah, and nostalgia.
Well, as a newbie to this movie and to like, I haven't seen Return in like years, but this movie was bad shit. It was absolute madness from like beginning to end. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Oh, yeah.
It like just it's not Shakespeare, and you
Sure.
shouldn't expect that.
Right.
It's something that like it's something that could be captured only in its time period, and I'm so glad this exists.
Oh yeah.
It is just absolute chaos.
Is it one of those things that's like, why haven't I watched this sooner? Or why haven't I, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, this is my aesthetic when it comes to like horror movies, and I'm ashamed of myself that I haven't seen it yet.
Still looks good.
Oh damn!
Man.
48.
48,
Beautiful.
yeah,
48
she is still a
looks
looker.
good.
Still a looker.
I'll allow it.
In my dreams. But yeah, hell yeah, that's an accurate, awesome rating in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
I agree completely. Like,
Yeah.
I went low just because, I don't know.
Like, especially with the time period and the genre of the time period that it's in, there are better movies.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
hell,
absolutely.
like way better
Yeah.
movies, but
Right.
there's nothing to this caliber of like craziness that I've
No,
seen like
no.
even recently.
This is the
Right.
third sequel in a franchise, and it still finds a way to do something different.
Mhm.
And I like that. Like, that
Right.
definitely makes it stand out a little bit. We were just saying, like, how many zombie movies can you think of that has romance that actually works?
Right.
And not many. And I mean, it does work in this.
Well, and where the zombie, like one of the zombies stands out, like as much as maybe she does.
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't know, Elephant Neck.
Well, yeah, he
Pretty
does stand
intense.
out almost as much. No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
other than maybe like Bud and Day and
Yeah,
Day,
he stands
Yeah,
out.
like
yeah.
that's probably like
He's
her and
iconic.
Bud is probably like the biggest.
You mean Bub.
Bub, sorry.
But I'm
Same
thinking of the guy
difference.
from Married with Children.
But-
Like, he was a zombie?
he is now. No.
He is now.
He is getting up there in age.
He will be eventually. No, but yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I wanna look up some stuff about the movie too. I'm not sure what I'll find because on those older movies it's kind of harder to
Mm-hmm.
see everything and how accurate it is. But yeah,
I'm still looking up pictures of Melinda Clarke. And I'm not. I
He's
have
not
regrets.
planning on stopping.
I'm not stopping.
and I will be joining him soon. Now.
Get your own phone.
I want to share.
And this has been the podcast.
Not you. Get out of my diggy. Not you.
What were you and Aaron talking about in the last podcast? Like the Sunday.
Oh God, this would definitely be in Shut the Curtain Sunday. We had every Sunday in Aaron and I's old apartment. We would watch like you know, Last House on the Left, House by the Edge of the Park, like horror or like suspense flicks with lots of nudity.
Yeah.
Or Cannibal Holocaust, where it's like nudity, but you're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
Just on the concept, there are a lot of kids in this apartment complex, and that would just be great to be watching a really screwed up scene of some horror flick, some chick half naked, and the kid's just sitting there in the window.
Through the little window,
sees the window, is like, Mommy, it's a naked lady, and now she's got a tree through her neck.
Yeah.
She transformed.
The tree is making love to her, Mommy. And now a guy with a huge chin is on screen.
That, my son, that man, is our nation's hero.
Oh, God. But yeah.
Yeah, this would have been on that.
Yeah, you think so? Would have made it?
The director's cut, definitely.
Director's cut, definitely, yeah.
But even the regular
curtain
cut.
Theater. Yeah, that's what you called it, closed curtain theater.
Closed curtain theater. I kind of want to go see this Return to Two Moon Junction movie she was in '95, because there's a lot of pictures of her just laying in bed.
Well, that'll be a later episode.
I don't think
what the back room of the video store was for.
18 plus.
Right on.
Alrighty,
yeah,
so
how much was that? How much damage was that?
That was like
we're
an hour.
Yeah. We're a little over an hour.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, we just made it.
Good timing on that.
So okay, so let's see. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we come to a conclusion?
Nothing I can really think of anymore on either subjects.
Both pretty legendary in their own right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what were your thoughts on both? Both great.
Both great. Definitely, especially like with my love of the Romero stuff and Return of the Living Dead. I'm glad that I finally was able to like see these, and they're so like crazy in their own way,
right?
To justify their existence and to really like people need to see these movies.
Yeah, they're so different, but still part of the genre, and so zombies. Yeah, amazing to be a part of it.
Yeah,
to
totally.
be a part of it. Yeah.
If you're a zombie fan, like screw the newer movies, screw The Walking Dead. Go watch the older stuff. Like
that's what I say about zombie movies in general. It's like go back and watch the old stuff because there's so much out there. There's so much out that I haven't seen.
If you haven't seen like the most recent stuff, you could go back to is probably like Days. I'd say Days is worth watching.
Yeah.
And then everything before that.
Yeah.
Just go back to
it. Definitely. Definitely. I would agree there.
And it's a shame because with these two movies, they have such a negative stigma, especially in the horror genre, of the long-winded sequels, like the bigger number sequels.
Or the remake.
Yeah. Yeah. But definitely, yeah. Both great movies, and let's say, how do we... There's one thing I want to mention, but I'll wait. I'll kind of wait till the end.
Yeah, both great movies. If you're going to go into zombie movies, go into the 90s at the latest.
Yeah.
Work your way back.
Mm-hmm. Right. There's so much good stuff out there, like I said. If you're a fan of zombies, don't just stick with The Walking Dead. Go back and explore all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh
yeah, like go and find some more not gender bending, but genre bending.
Yeah.
Like this, like Return 3 was very much genre bending in that. You got a love story.
Watch Return. Watch Dead Alive. Watch Dead by Dawn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Any of the Italian stuff.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Zombie.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do more modern, I've said Shaun of the Dead's still great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shaun of the Dead.
20 Days Later is different enough that it's good.
It stands out.
Snyder's remake of Dawn
is all right.
It's different enough to justify.
Remake. Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
But just go. If there's CG in a zombie movie, you probably want to stay the fuck away.
Right. Because there's no need for it unless there's maybe a mass amount of zombie bodies, something happening to them where they can't deal with practical effects or something like that.
Like the remake of Dawn, it made perfect sense. Like you see, like the just horde outside. You had to use some CG there.
Right there, you go.
But what I liked about the remake of Dawn is they still used practical effects. Like you knew there was some actual,
demon bait, like the zombie baby.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, the one, like that big old fat lady that goes running at him.
Oh yeah.
Like, that was straight up a chick. Well, it was actually a stunt man in a big old lady suit. It was gross, but it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the guy that gets the broken bat towards the beginning and like shoves it up to the guy's head. That was a head. That was a prosthetic head.
I liked the. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I liked the scene where they're in the. What is it, like a bus that they make, and you know they
armor
put
bus.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
The armor,
the chainsaw,
the chick that gets chainsawed. Yeah,
just on accident.
And by accident, she's like, ah, she gets cut in half. It's like, that's awesome.
And for like recent Romero stuff, I think Land's a bit underrated.
Land is still alright.
I love Land.
I think Land doesn't get it. The problem with Land, James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, said it's a great movie, but the problem is it came out at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
If it would have come out in say like 2000, like 99, 2000, it would have been the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The
and
problem
when did it come
is
out?
It came out in like 2004.
Okay, so a little later.
It was after the remake of Dawn.
Okay.
Which I think really hurt it.
Was it after Dawn but before Days?
Days.
20 Days.
20 Days
Around
Later
the same
was
time?
about 2003. So 20 Days Later came out first, then the Dawn remake, then Land came out.
Okay.
It was 04. Because
Okay.
I saw Land in theaters. And I loved it, but at the same time, I was thinking at the same time, like, people aren't going to like this because it's not different enough.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was different. I really liked it.
I dug what it was going for, and it worked well. But it's just, the problem is that, and I think Richard would remember this. You're a little younger than us. There was a time period in like the 90s. I'm going to say like 96, 97, right around the time that Resident Evil games were getting really popular.
Oh, yeah.
Where everybody was kind of looking back and going, yeah, zombie movies were pretty cool, but we had nothing. And like
not till unless you're going early 90s.
Unless you're going, early, like this was one of the last.
Late 80s, yeah.
Right. This was one of the last, like Return 3 was one of the last zombie movies we had for a long time.
Yeah, but there was nothing. I
remember I was just graduating high school and I had just seen the original Dawn for the first time. I was just like, I got to get more of this. I got to find more zombie movies. And there was nothing. I remember thinking like, why isn't Romero directing movies? And he was doing commercials for the Resident Evil 2 game in Japan.
Wow.
He was doing less than 2 minute long commercials for it. It's like he's being squandered. So he was doing that, and he was doing music videos for the Misfits. That's all he was doing at that point.
Hey, now there's that.
It was cool. Yeah. I'm not saying it wasn't cool, but
was he doing the American Psycho?
No, he was actually doing Scream, the music video for Scream.
Famous Monsters.
Yep.
That's what I thought. Okay, so now that I know that, looking back at it, that does look like
it's sad though because here's another one with Romero that you might not know. Right around that time, because Resident Evil was so popular, they're like, we got to make a movie of this.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And Romero went, okay. They were like, well, how are we going to make it a great horror movie if it's Resident Evil? Let's get Romero to write it.
Right.
There's a script that exists. He
Wow,
wrote a script for Resident Evil, and I've read the entire script. It's actually really good.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, like the fact that it wasn't. I mean, it was his own thing, but it paid so much tribute to the original, like the actual games, that it felt like a true, like unlike where they just made new characters and kind of threw in the characters from the movie like they do in the actual series.
Right. The way they chose to go with it.
His two main characters were Chris and Joe.
Right.
And it worked. Like they were, like Joe was actually, what I thought was cool was like Joe was part of STARS, but Chris wasn't even military. He was just like her boyfriend and just kind of was in the know. He was like a survivalist or something.
Wow.
That's interesting.
But
so did they ever say why they chose not to go with his script?
Because
it wasn't as action maybe or something?
Two reasons. One, it wasn't action filled enough, and two, he relied too much on zombies. And it's like, it's George freaking Romero.
Yeah.
Right. If anybody knows zombies, it's this guy.
Like, because he didn't put in the tyrant and like I think like the tyrant showed up at the end, but like he stuck strictly to like zombies, zombie dogs, and the birds. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, didn't bring in hunters, didn't bring in, like, a bunch of the other...
Didn't have Yawn.
Yeah, didn't have Yawn, didn't have, like, the giant spider, nothing like that. Just because he was like, how am I going to make a giant spider look cool in a movie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know
like,
what?
this ain't the 50s anymore. We can't rely on stop motion.
Well, and if you look at the original Resident Evil, like, there's a bunch of zombies, there's a few zombie dogs, there's one licker.
Licker at the end, yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, you guys were all complaining, and then...
Right.
You do exactly what he did.
Right.
Good job.
Right.
So
I would like to read this.
It's
floating online somewhere, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. I would recommend going to homepageofthedead.com. Mm-hmm. That was like the first Romero website I found. I'm sure it's on there still. Yeah, check it out. It's good. It's a good read.
Shit, I never knew that. See, that's awesome.
I would also recommend the same website. You can look up the original script for Day.
Really?
Really?
Well, the original script, again, another one people don't know, is that he was originally given a, like, multi-million-dollar budget for Day.
Wow.
And then they saw all of the violence he was going to put into it, and they were like, oh, you're going to have to cut the violence. He was like, I'm not cutting the violence. And they're like, okay, well, we're not giving you all this money.
Cutting the budget.
So that's why we got Day as, like, low budget as it is, which it's still a great movie.
It's still legendary.
Still a great, gory movie, yeah.
Like, Savini has said numerous times about the script that the original script for Day was the Lawrence of Arabia of zombie movies. Like, it was huge.
Wow.
And if you read the script, it feels like it. Like, we're talking like a cast of thousands.
Wow.
Like, it was actually going to be like an entire island of people still alive, like, trying to function. And, like, instead of just one bub that was a smart zombie, no, there was an entire platoon.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's a good read. Like, it's enjoyable.
No doubt.
But, yeah.
Like, Jackson's original... Peter Jackson actually was a part of the script for Freddy's Dead.
Right, I did. I remember seeing that.
It was all... It was all about the kid... Like, nobody's afraid of Freddy anymore.
Right.
So they take pills to, like, fall asleep and fight Freddy in the dream world using their dream powers. And one of the kids would screw up and get killed, and then Freddy would, like, get his powers back and then start hunting kids again.
Nice.
So they took a little bit of that in the Freddy vs. Jason movie, like the pills and the whole concept that they'd forgotten about him. Like, I like that. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how those things come around.
Huh. It's like, but this was a good idea anyway, and you still used it.
Well, that's Hollywood for you. Like, they'll take one little thing they like from a script and just destroy the rest of it.
Well, and that's how I like to refer back to The Crow, because at one point they said when they bought it, there was going to be like nothing was going to be like the comic book.
Thankfully,
nothing.
Brandon Lee was like, screw you.
If it wasn't for Brandon Lee, everything would have changed.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy that the movie got done even after he passed.
After he died, yeah.
True.
The movie will still get made.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite movie of all time.
It's my top 5.
Works.
Yeah.
Easily the best comic book movie ever made.
I think so.
I agree. I watched it Halloween night, and it's still like, this is still, or no, like Devil's Night.
Yeah, Devil's Night.
I watched it, and it's just like, this is still a fucking amazing movie.
Yeah.
You know, hands down.
But yeah, Return of the Living Dead 3, going back.
Going totally off topic. But
pardon us.
At least we were talking about zombies.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I think that's all I have for tonight.
Anybody want to mention?
Yeah, nothing in the fire.
Well, again, it was awesome to do this. It's entertaining.
Always.
Putting this up and going back and.
Yeah, thanks for having me over.
Absolutely.
So I can see these movies and talk to you guys.
No, happy again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, totally.
Love to do it again.
Love to.
Do some badass movies again, and
I gotta find Rise of Leslie Vernon now. That would be a good one.
Oh yeah. It's like it's endless. We we have. So we just pulled Return kind of out of our asses. It's like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
It's like, let's do this one.
Even though we didn't use it tonight, Shudder always our buddy, and I keep mentioning the Shudder app just so that eventually they will give me a free subscription.
Guys.
It's cheaper than Netflix, and it's all horror, it's awesome.
And they're always putting up new stuff too.
They are,
which is awesome.
Do they have some of the classics?
Yeah. They actually have. This is funny. On Halloween, they put up all the Universal monster
really?
Dracula, Frankenstein,
That's awesome.
Bride.
Yeah,
they're all up there.
Well, they did. It was Kirk Hammett, the guitarist of Metallica, since he's a huge monster.
Oh yeah.
Fan. it was like his pick. So he's like,
Right.
I love all the classic shit. So yeah,
Put it
he
on
did, like,
there.
his favorite. Yeah,
He did that. Like Phantasm's on there. Evil Dead
Phantasm.
2's up there.
You got the Italian films as well.
Bring it up while we're talking.
House, we watched House on there.
House and House 2.
House and House 2.
A lot of Lucio Fulci, like almost his entire library.
Now you say House. It's not the Japanese one, is it?
No.
No.
Yeah,
that
we need
one's-
to watch that.
That one's batshit on its own
Yeah.
merits.
That's
but-
one of those I would love to watch with you guys because I remember watching it and
Yeah.
just being like, I don't know what I
it's-
just
it's-
watched.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
Yeah, it's the houses from the horror and then action adventure
Yeah,
first two.
yeah.
Um,
But
yeah.
Shudder, check it out.
yeah, I said we're gonna keep mentioning you until we get like a free.
Give me at least sponsor our podcast.
Like,
sponsor,
come on,
dude, That would
baby.
be bad. And I still want a cauterized hoodie. Like you guys still doing the music for the podcast. Thank you guys again.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cutting some of this music to make the intro is badass. It goes with our stuff.
Yeah. Stacie Ponder, Death Count, the all the deaths of the Friday the 13th film series illustrated. Check it out.
Check it out.
Amazon.
I'll put a link to her Amazon as well, maybe her webpage or something as well.
Sure.
We'll put a link up to, if nothing else, trailers for the movies, if not the whole movies.
Yeah.
Should I put links up for the comic shop, or is there anything you want to
Oh
mention?
yeah,
too?
we could do that.
Oh, yeah.
We can mention the comic.
We just, while I work at Comic Shop Plus over here in Newark, we just moved from 21st Street to 30th Street, and getting everything set up. Comics are all set up. We're getting games set up,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, if you're in the Central Ohio area, come on down and see us. We'd be happy to like chat it up and shoot the shit.
Always, it's an awesome place. If you're in the Newark area and you
Yeah.
need your comics, you need your nerd fill,
Yeah.
that's your place.
Not to mention old toys that they had. Well, before you guys moved, that you had like in the glass cases.
Oh yeah,
That I was over there drooling over. It's like,
we got an entire collection of like a complete set of the original He-Man stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing we were missing was Eternia. We had everything else, and we
and
just
Ninja
got the
Turtles.
turtle stuff in.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, I want it all. I'm like drooling over all of it. Like
Get
yeah.
me in there.
But yeah, so good stuff. We'll put links up for that and everything. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that listens and everything. To our crazy bullshit, kind of how we ramble off and everything. And last thing I want to mention is sometime at the end of the year, I don't know what I'm going to do with it exactly, if I'm going to put it up on the Fiend Cave webpage or what, but I'm going to do a top 10 metal albums, and I'm going to throw it up. Because there was a hell of a lot of good metal albums that came out this year, so
Oh yeah, definitely.
still coming out. So New Cannibal Corpse actually just dropped Friday, so yesterday. So it's like, if you're a fan of horror movies, why don't you listen to them? So
Right on.
it's always about zombies eating people, coming back, and they're fucking smart as hell and they eat people. So it's like, hell yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I was going to do that and throw it up, so be on the lookout for that. And
Okay.
yeah, just thank everybody, thanks for a guest. And,
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I said, we'll do it
Anytime.
again, man. Do it again.
All right.
And,
And I think on that note, I will say adios. And as always, stay frosty.
Stay frosty, and I'll say stay metal as always. And something else I want to mention before we end this. I was watching Stranger Things Season 2 again today for like the third time. They say stay frosty in it.
They do!
And like
Yes.
what, episode 5 or
Yes.
something, I think. They're like, stay frosty, and I'm like, fuck yeah!
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Stay gold.
Stay cool.
there you go. Thanks everybody. See you next episode. Bye.